last flower in a small, quiet village nestled at the edge of a great forest. There lived a young girl named Lily. Lily loved flowers more than anything in the world. She would spend hours each day in her grandmother's garden, tending to the colorful blossoms, daisies, tulips, sunflowers, and roses, all of them blooming happily under her gentle care. But there was one special flower in the garden that Lily loved more than the rest, a delicate bright blue flower called the forget-me-not. The forget-me-not was the last flower Lily's grandmother had planted before she grew too old to tend the garden herself. It was small but beautiful, with petals that seemed to shimmer like tiny drops of the sky. Every time Lily looked at it, she remembered her grandmother's warm smile and the stories she would tell about the old garden. "This flower will always be here," Lily, her grandmother, would say, gently touching the petals. "Even when I'm not around, this flower will remind you of me." Lily took great care of the forget-me-not, watering it every day, talking to it, and making sure it had plenty of sunlight. The flower grew stronger, its tiny, blue petals reaching for the sun as if they were dancing in the breeze. And Lily would always smile, knowing that as long as the flower bloomed, a part of her grandmother would always be with her. But one autumn, as the air turned cooler and the leaves began to fall, something changed. Lily noticed that the forget-me-not wasn't blooming as brightly as it used to. Its leaves were beginning to wilt, and the petals that had once sparkled like stars seemed faded and tired. Lily ran to her grandmother's side, her heart heavy with worry. "Grandma, the flower isn't growing anymore," she said, tears swelling up in her eyes. "What should I do?" Her grandmother, now very frail and tired, smiled softly. "Some flowers are meant to bloom for a little while, Lily. And when their time is over, they rest. But that doesn't mean they're gone forever. You have taken such good care of it. It will always be a part of you, just as I will always be a part of you, no matter where I am." Lily didn't understand. She didn't want the flower to disappear. She didn't want to lose the last piece of her grandmother. But she nodded, even though her heart felt as if it were breaking. Days turned into weeks, and as the weather grew colder, the garden became quieter. The forget-me-not petals began to fall one by one, until all that was left was a small, empty stem. Lily sat beside it every day, her little hands gently touching the soil, willing the flower to grow again. But the earth stayed still. One cold winter morning, Lily woke up to find that her grandmother had passed away in her sleep. The sadness in her heart felt too big to hold. She cried not just for the loss of her grandmother, but for the little blue flower that had been her grandmother's last gift. Without it, the garden felt empty and the world felt darker. That winter, Lily would often visit the garden, her footsteps leaving little prints in the snow. She would stand in front of the small patch where the forget-me-not had once bloomed, her hands pressed against her chest, trying to remember everything about the flower, its softness, its bright blue color, and the way it had danced in the breeze. One day, as the winter began to fade and spring started to warm the earth, something amazing happened. Lily went to the garden as she always did, but this time she noticed something new. Right in the spot where the forget-me-not had once been, a tiny green shoot had appeared. At first it was so small and fragile that Lily could hardly see it, but she knelt down and smiled. The flower wasn't gone forever. It was growing back slowly but surely, just as her grandmother had said. It wouldn't be the same as before, and it would take time, but it would bloom again. Just like the love she had for her grandmother, quietly, gently, and forever. And so every year as spring arrived, a little blue flower would bloom where the forget-me-not had once stood, a reminder to Lily that even when something beautiful is lost, it doesn't mean it's gone. Some things take time to grow, and love never truly fades away. The end.